Okay, I'm showing 121 volts, and then if I look really closely, I'm seeing about 124 volts AC on my analog meter. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, and for those of you that are new, my name is Luke, and today we're going to go over all the different test features of your Commercial Electric M1015C analog meter. It's got a lot of little functions to it, should be pretty fun, so let's get into it. We're gonna kind of work our way from the top section here, which is ohms, and then to your voltage, AC and DC, your milliamps, your battery, and then we'll lightly touch on the dB section. The first thing I wanna start with is the ohms measurement adjustment. But there should be timestamps down in the description. So if you're just looking for a certain test or a certain function, go ahead, hop down there, and it should take you exactly to where you need to be. But we'll start with ohms. Something to think about with ohms is your 0 is on the right-hand side of the meter, and your infinite amount of ohms is on the left. So when things are good and low resistance, we want to see that needle picked all the way to the other side. Mine came with a battery installed that was good, even though you can tell it had been sitting on the shelf for quite some time. But if you're having trouble with the ohms measurements portion, double check the battery on the inside if it's dead or if it's missing. That could be a reason why that function isn't working. There are two adjustment points on your meter. This is your main ohms adjustment point, and then this is also a little fine-tune adjustment point. We're just gonna be focused on this wheel for the ohms measurements, and then I'll use this adjustment point for dialing in our voltage. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, the manual says that no matter what ohms setting that you're on, you can simply short your leads together, and then you can dial in your needle till it says 0. I'm not really a big fan of that. I don't think you really learn anything from doing it that way, and I also don't really think it's that accurate. Now, it is it's a cheap little analog meter. It's only going to be able to get so accurate. But let's go through the process of dialing it in. I am going to be using these universal alligator clips that I'll have linked down below. They're fairly inexpensive, and you can just throw them on any multimeter leads. Let's talk a little bit about how the resistive values work. It might be a little confusing how it says times 10 times 1K. Remember, with meters, we're in the metric system. K is going to represent kilo or 1,000. So it's going to be a times 10 measurement or times 1,000. Now, what's a little bit counterintuitive with the way that this works, let's say we have a 100 ohm resistor, and I'm on the times 10 setting. I'm going to show a 10 as my ohm value. So I'm reading 10 here, and then I need to make sure to multiply the value that I read here by a 10, and that'll give me my actual value, which is 100 ohms. And then we'll just do some cross checks every once in a while with the digital multimeter so that we can be on the same page. We know for sure that this is a 100 ohm resistor, or you can read the bands on the resistor and that'll tell you the resistive value. So the first thing that we want to do, we'll put it to times 10, and then we can make sure to dial it in. If you have a 100 ohm resistor, you're on the times 10 and it's showing 5, that's telling you, oh, it's a 50 ohm resistor. Well, we know it's not a 50 ohm resistor. So we're using this resistor to calibrate our instrument. Get that times 10 value and get it dialed in right there. Now, you might be wondering why I chose a 100 ohm resistor. Your meter, when it makes a resistive measurement, is outputting a voltage, and we can read exactly what that voltage is with another meter. When this is reading ohms, it's outputting 1.6 volts. And what does that mean for our resistive measurements? Well, it means the amount of current that your resistor will draw is directly correlated to the voltage of your instrument. So if I put like a 1 ohm resistor across it, it's going to draw a lot of current, and it'll heat up that resistor really quick and burn it out. So we just want to be kind of cognizant of that when we are making resistor value measurements. that we can burn out our resistors if we just leave our meter hooked up to it. So be really careful with more sensitive components. Let's go through a couple more examples of how to read ohms. And if you're curious, the voltage output on the ohms is the same on the times 10 and on the times 1000 setting, in case you're curious. Now that we've got our instrument calibrated, let's get in here and read some resistors and see what that looks like. On this one, I'm showing 7, right? We're looking at that green at the very top. We're seeing a 7, and I'm on the times 10 setting. So that's saying this is a 70 ohm resistor. Let's go up a bit higher, see what that looks like. Okay, I'm on times 10, and it looks like it's just about the 100 mark. So if I'm at 100 times 10, what's that, 1,000 ohms? I guess if it is 1,000 ohms, another check that I could do is I could put it on the times 1000 setting, and my needle should in theory go down to the 1. And it does, it goes just above it. It goes like 1.5. Let's cross-reference that with a digital meter and see what it comes back with. Okay, and it comes back with just about 1K. So we know that our meter is calibrated. We're starting to get a feeling, an understanding of how to read it and how to work it. Let's go a bit higher and see what we come up with. Okay, I can check my meter's working. I'm taking a resistive value, but the needle's not moving at all. It's pegged all the way to the left-hand side. So let's go ahead and switch it up to the times 1000 multiplication. And now it dropped. So now it's floating, I'd say it's right around 90. 90 times 1000, that would be 90K ohms of resistance. And let's cross-reference that with our digital meter. And that's really close, 98K here, so it's just off by 8K. I do wish they had a times 1, but that's all we get, times 10 and times 1K. I will say that times 1K is handy, and that's kind of the trade-off that you get with this meter. So let's go ahead and go into our volts AC and our volts DC. Now we are not only working with a analog meter, but it's manual ranging. With our volts AC and our volts DC, we're gonna see all these different numbers, and that could be kind of a lot and kind of confusing, but the way that I like to think about it, think of it as up to. This reading I can measure up to 2.5 volts DC, up to 10 volts DC, 50 volts DC. Over here on this side, 10 volts AC, 50 volts AC. Let's give an example. If we have a battery, okay, we know that this battery says on the side for us, it's nice and labeled, 12.8 volts nominal. So we know if this battery is fully charged or if it's dead, it's somewhere between like 10 and 14 volts. And it's a battery, so we know it's a direct current power source. So if I wanted to measure this battery, I could look at my dial and I could kind of think through. I know it's volts DC. I know it's going to be more than 10 volts even if it's dead. So I'll have to go to the 50 volt setting, and that tells me I can measure up to 50 volts DC. And then when I look at the menu here, I've got an up to 250, up to 50, and up to 10, and then all zeros here, and these are the different scales. So if I'm using the 50, up to 50, I'm going to use this middle row because it does 0 to 50. Let's go ahead and take a measurement. I'm going to do red to positive, black to negative. And what do I get as my reading? Remember, I'm eating this middle row, and I'm just between this 10 and the 20. So it's telling me, I would probably say that's about 14 to 15 volts. It's the best that I can tell. Let's go ahead and compare that with the digital meter and see what it says. Okay, 13.26. The analog meter, you're not going to be able to get it nearly as accurate and dialed in, but you're going to get a really good idea of what's going on with your power source. Let's try an AC power source. Okay, so let's say I want to take a measurement of this outlet, but the concept is the same. Before I take a measurement, I kind of want to anticipate the value that I'm going to be measuring. So I'm here in North America. The voltage coming out of the wall for me, I know is going to be 120 volts approximately or less, depending on where you're at in the world. Could be 220, 230, 240, but I know it's at least 120 or less. When I look at my meter and I want to make a measurement, I can look over here and see, okay, I've got up to 10 volts AC, because that little squiggly line is a sine wave to represent AC. I got 10, 50, 250, and 300. Well, I know I'm going to be well above 50, but less than 250. The 250 setting is saying I can measure up to 250 volts AC. So let's go ahead and put it there. Then the next thing that I want to think about is, where am I going to be looking here on my scale? Well, I'm going to be looking at these black numbers and indicators, and the 250 all the way here on the right tells me I want to be looking at this row of numbers right below the ohms. And let's take a measurement. Okay, I'm seeing right about 125 volts AC. Let's compare that to, okay, I'm showing 121 volts, and then if I look really closely, I'm seeing about 124 volts AC on my analog meter. So I think that's really, really close, and tells me that our instrument is pretty dialed in. I've never worked with like high-end analog meters. I bet they're super fun and really amazing. Yeah, I'm seeing about 124 volts AC on my analog meter. The next portion that I want to go into is milliamps. So for our milliamps, it's letting us know that it's only rated for DC milliamps. So I have a DC voltage supply here, and then I'm just using these little resistors as little controlled loads. And then we have a 10 scale and a 250 scale. So depending on where we're selected, we'll be either looking at this 10 to 0 range or this 250 to 0 range. Whoa, pigs that needle. Okay, so that's telling me I'm out of limits, or what we would normally see on a digital meter as like OL, telling me I need to go up to the next section. I need to go to the up to 250 milliamps DC. And let's see what we get. Okay, so if I'm looking at the 250 scale, I'm way over here. I'm a few notches below 50. I'd say that's right around like 38 milliamps DC. Let's go ahead and do a comparison with another meter that's rated for milliamps. We'll set it to the 200 milliamp scale. Okay, 36.8. So that was actually really close and really accurate. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can do less than 10 milliamps. What's something that's, okay, that one's at 12. Okay, I've got a 1.1 milliamp. Let's see what that looks like here. Yeah, I'm seeing like a 1.6, 1.7. If you're struggling with taking a current measurement, the thing that you need to remember that's a lot different is, unlike all of the other measurements that we've been able to do in parallel, where you can just take your red to positive and your black to negative, with current measurements, they have to be done in series. So you have to use your jumpers, your meter leads, to complete an incomplete circuit. Let's move on to the battery testing portion. I really like the battery testers on these analog meters. They're essentially just this, and it just says good or replace, and it's going to put just a little tiny load on your battery and let you know. So at the 9 volt, we've got our red to positive, black to negative, and our battery comes back good. And then we have a 1.5 volt setting. Let's go ahead and try that. Again, same thing. And our battery's coming back Good. So that's awesome. And that kind of leaves us lastly with this. You might be a little bit curious about this decibel portion. And decibels are really tricky because it's not linear. But I wanted to show kind of what setting. I don't know if it's very clear in the manual, but for using the decibel setting, you'd want to put it on 10 volts AC. And decibels is usually going to be like very small amounts of volts AC, sometimes even in millivolts. And I've just got like a little sine wave here bumping some tunes, and that would be checking for like audio signals and signal strength and stuff like that. But if for whatever reason you're all wanting more decibel measurement content, let me know down in the comment section and we'll put something together. But that's your Commercial Electric M1015C. Really cool little meter. It had a bunch of dust on it. I imagine how many people will watch this video. I want to get more analog meters on the show. But anyways, if you're all learning this stuff, I've got a bunch of different tutorials on the channel, a bunch of different shorts covering a bunch of different electrical concepts. So go check it out. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one.